everyone, welcome back to Chesil Beach once again. So we're a couple of days on now from the video I did down at the eastern end of the bank. Today we're at the shallower end. We've got some fantastic weather. Must be pushing into the early 20s. There's virtually no wind, just a very, very gentle onshore breeze putting a little ripple on the surface. We've got the start of the tide pushing down from the right. We're going to have 3 or 4 hours of that left, and then I think we're going to have a little period of slack water before it starts to push from the left. Now, the second part of the tide should coincide with the onset of dusk and the last part of daylight. So realistically then we can expect hounds and rays. For the time being, with this hot, bright, calm weather, I think we're going to put some small worm and crab baits out as far as we can and see if there's any plaice and gurnard. Well, there we go. Who needs feathers? So I thought I'd quickly run you through my rigs for the day. We'll start off on 2 hooks, size 2s, nice and small. We've got these bright, clear conditions, so we're probably looking at smaller fish realistically. And then towards the end of the session, when we get the tide coming from the other direction and the sun sinks down a little bit more, we'll probably have the potential to target hounds and rays, and we'll move on to some slightly beefier gear. So for now, we're on 2 hook loop rigs. There's a very small run of tide. It's one of the smallest of the month today. So what I've done is just removed the wires from a breakaway 150 gram impact lead. We've seen this before, I know, but we've got one of the small Cedra 50-pound stainless steel snood swivels, and that's locked in place with a couple of glass beads, and then 25-pound clear snood down to a size 2 Varavaz Aberdeen, and that's just half a medium black lug on there. You don't need anything bigger than that for flatfish really. These Varavaz Aberdeens have got an added advantage today. They're not the lightest of hooks, but they're a lovely compromise. We could potentially see a hound, we could potentially see a ray, and I want to know that if I am lucky enough to hook one of those, we've got the equipment to be able to deal with it. So further up, we have our second snood. Again, size 2 Varavaz Aberdeen with half a fresh peeler crab, and that's locked in place, as with the bottom snood, by a very tiny power gum stop knot and a small sequin. And then the very top of the snood, the top of the rig body, we have half a Cedra rig spring and a 130-pound Cedra stainless steel swivel. So everything is quite stealthy with this rig. Clear lines, very small components, small baits, basically designed to catch fish in this clear summer weather. There we go, prime summer Chesil Beach Plaice, exactly what we wanted. Lovely condition, nice bright spots. That one was taken on half a black lug on the top snood. So we'll get him unhooked and we'll get him popped back. So it's a lovely fish, 38 centimetres. Nice and plump. Let's hope there's a few more out there today. Tide's running a little bit harder now. Got fresh baits out there. Let's see what happens. Even on a bright sunny day, you can't fish Chesil without one of these. So one of the problems with having a little bit of mayrot still in the water is these guys absolutely love it. They think it's the middle of the night, and it's a very expensive way to use your peeler crab. So we're getting towards sunset now. Just had a dogfish on the fish bait, so I'm going to persevere with sand eel and mackerel baits on that rod for a ray. On the other rod, I'm on a 3-hook loop, so I've got basically half a crab on the top hook, and then half a crab in the middle, and black on the bottom. So hopefully, if there's a hound or a plaice, this rod should pick it up. And if there's a ray, we should see it on the other one. Fingers crossed. Oh, there we go. Nice to see the grey Gurnard in force on Chesil at the moment. We obviously had a couple in the last session, and then another one now today down at the shallower end. This one's got kind of more steely grey colours to it, which is quite nice to see. But yeah, nice looking fish. There we go, fishing away with a 3-hook rig with a couple of small crab baits and a worm bait, and reasonable little hound has picked up the crab. Not a huge fish, but we don't get the monsters of the Solent or the Bristol Channel here, but a great little scrap. This rig was really designed for bits and pieces, so I'm only on size 3 saltwater champions, so testament to the hooks that they stand up to a slightly better quality fish. So we'll slip this guy back when he calms down, and we'll get some more baits out, see if we can get another one. There we go, nice little bonus. Chunky bass. Took a lump of crab intended for a smoothhound, but I'm not going to complain. We're going to pop this one back. He's reasonably lightly hooked, so should be fine. But yeah, good couple of pound. Hopefully we'll see him again when he's a bit bigger. Well, I decided to have a couple of casts into dark just because I had that bass on dusk. That went £3.1, 54 centimetres. But since then, it is just carnage with these things. So 2 hook loop rigs is bringing back a double shot of dogs every cast, unfortunately. Another beautiful Chesil sunset, just slipping away behind the cliffs in West Bay. And it's been a beautiful afternoon. The weather's been fantastic, hardly any wind. Unfortunately, over the last hour, the dogfish seem to have come out in force, and they're snaffling every bait almost as soon as it hits the bottom. So these 2 casts are probably going to be my last ones. The Mayrot's quite bad. To start with, I didn't actually think it was going to be, but as soon as that tide got going, it's quite obvious, hanging on the line and basically coating everything in slime. But apart from that, it's been a lovely afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.